Superjaz. You know, we can do what we like to do. Get living color.
What? What did you say? What are you doing?
I got a woman way over town that's good to me. What is up, everybody? Y'all know who it is, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent, big ugly himself, Omari feogrande on YouTube, Pete on this show, and we are here this week with another episode of Whatever We Want podcast every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern, and I'm here with my co-host with the most. You know how it is. Maybe not the least, definitely not the least. You know how it is. You know, sometimes he has somewhere in the middle about how much he has. It is Superjaz. What is no return to that air horn.
I forgot to do this in the last episode. What's going on, y'all? Like you said, yes, I'm your boy Jazz, aka Superjaz, SJ, JT, what have you, what and the like. Do not attempt, made this joke with some other shit, but do not attempt to adjust your screen. Your internet is not working incorrectly. You did see that, yes, FG, feogrande, Pete Omari did start the episode this time, and it's going to be the start of a new thing.
Yeah.
We got like the new saga, spoken like a fucking like anime fan. We got the new saga, the new arc, the new trend, the new flow, so to speak, for the next whatever we want, the next 26. I guess we're going to start on I and then go back around. Where I did movie quotes, now he's gonna do song lyrics.
Yes, sir. I started with I because our last movie quote ended with H, so I started with I just to keep the alphabetical thing going, even though the category changed.
Yep. Maybe that'll be a thing now.
Keep the alphabetical, so whatever it gets back to you, you got to start with J. I wonder if you can think of any words to start with J. So we're gonna go ahead and.
But I think like what? Well, I'll do like what? Not movie quotes, TV quotes or some shit next. Ugh.
You know what you can do, Jazz?
What can I do?
Whatever you want. Because that is what this show is. It is the Whatever We Want podcast where we talk about just that. Whatever we want. We went from what was formerly just the only wrestling channel where we talked about WWE and we started talking about WWW. That was the joke I made in the first episode and that became the name of the show. So...
It was a good, a funny good joke that really worked.
Yes, sir. And today, Jazz, did you have anything you wanted to talk about to get us started? What would you like to talk about?
Well, you didn't necessarily say the one thing that I always say is
what, new episodes every Wednesday that I said at the start?
You say that, and
I
forget to say that. But yes, but also we like you said, this is Whatever We Want podcast where we talk about whatever we want. We do not lead the conversation. The conversation leads us.
Ah, sir, I see it.
That's the one thing that I always just kind of throw that in there, which is funny because now that I'm not the one necessarily introing the shit, I'm realizing just how not redundant, but beating you over the head with the fact that this conversation flows from nowhere. My intro is. But well, one thing I was thinking of was, and first of all, yeah, not that I'm gonna say it again in about an hour, but My Secret Identity by yours truly, out everywhere you stream your music.
That's right. It has been out for more than a week, guys. What are you up to? Why have you not listened to it? Checked it out on everywhere you can find the music.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, person. But that being said,
my favorite track is the family track.
Treasure or Love is the, in parentheses, Love is the Treasure. What's the name of it?
Where's the ultimate plan? Sorry, I don't have the words memorized yet. It's only been out in a week, but I like it.
You sound like
Had the nice lady singing the song at the chorus.
Mi Madre.
CC.
You sound like somebody from the fucking like 90s. Like the Tony shit. What was it? I was watching, what was that shit? Pop Star.
Okay.
With Andy Samberg and who was it? Was it Tim Meadows? I think it was somebody. But he said it was Tony, and he was the question mark. He was like, Tony? They had like creative issues and trouble, so they ended up kicking him out the group, and he had like resented him ever since. Anyway, that shit was funny. The movie is underrated and surprisingly like really funny. But no. One thing I was actually thinking of that I could say to start us off was if you were to win the lottery.
All right. I'm listening.
What do you think would be the first thing you would do?
First thing
you would do, and then what would you do in general?
All right. With the money, or when I find out that I have the information?
Let's go when you find out first, and then with the money after that.
All right. When I find out, I'm probably telling like whoever takes me to.
You hear what I said?
What? Say jack off.
That's why I was laughing. Yes.
First thing I do when I find out, I'm a jack off. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna go home, just rip off the pants, and just start ravaging myself.
Ravaging myself. Wow, that is an interesting way to put that shit. Ravaging myself.
No.
Okay.
No, that's not Omari, how it's going to be.
Omari, you just won.
What are you gonna do next? I'm gonna jack. No, that would not be the first thing I'd do with that. What does money change about that situation? No, I would tell whoever I need to give me the ride to the lottery place, and I'd probably keep it secretive until like a gift giving thing happens, and then like give out gifts to people or whatever. But I would obviously, main thing I would do with the money is first off help family and people that have helped me a bunch and stuff. I would definitely redistribute that pretty much immediately, and they would know before like other friends and stuff knows, just because I'm like, all right, I want y'all to know I have appreciated everything y'all done for me, and here's what I want to do with that. After that, it's try and find some way to make sure I set up a constant stream of keep getting money type deal.
Like invest in something type thing. Yeah.
Where it's like, all right, so now I know now I finally started my perpetual money wheel. I don't have to worry about anything anymore. And then, I don't know, if I win it tomorrow, I'm probably buying a PS5. If I win it, after I've already gotten a PS5, which is whenever the fuck God of War Ragnarok comes out, I'm going to have a PS5 by then, by come hell or high water, as the saying goes.
For those who do not know, if you have not listened to other episodes of the podcast, Pete is a God of War fiend.
Yes, actually, I forgot to say this last week, but yes, this is October, correct? Yes. On my channel, the main thing I'm doing this month is what I'm calling Geotavi of War, where I'm going through all of the God of War games, starting in chronological order. I started with Ascension. I finished that a couple days ago, and now I'm on to Chains of Olympus, or maybe hell, I might be almost done with that. I think I'll probably be on God of War 1. I'm doing them in chronological order, so that's Ascension. There's seven main games, I'm pretty sure. Here, let me count them out as I say it. Starting with Ascension, then doing Chains of Olympus, then 1, then Ghost of Sparta, then 2, 3, and 4. So yeah, 7 main games in the series. And I'm going through them chronologically and what it happens and stuff, as opposed to the order that they were released. Because if I go by the order they were released, then it'd be 1, then Chains of Olympus, then 2, then Ghost of Sparta, then 3, then Ascension, then 4. But Chains of Olympus and Ascension are both prequels, so I'm just doing them chronologically, like bam, 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 bam. And Ghost of Sparta is this kind of happens between 1 and 2. Or it has to happen between 1 and 2, because literally Ghost of Sparta cannot happen after 2. It cannot happen between 2 and 3. Because of reasons I mentioned on another episode, where literally Kratos' last line in God of War 2 is Kratos' first line in God of War 3.
What was I gonna say though? But no, I was gonna say it's funny that you call it Geotavi of War, because the initials of that don't have to change.
Right.
So that was real slick. But also, yeah. No, okay, so going back to what we talking about. So if you were to do the whole lottery, like if you were to win the lottery, I don't know, unless buying a PS5 was the answer. What was
the first thing is helping out friends and family that are close.
The very first thing that you would like
with the money is mother and sisters, obviously.
For the sake of being like that guy and being funny though, I'm gonna press you and say,
nah, you ain't getting none of it.
Very first
you ain't getting none.
Oh, fuck you. Why were you gonna say that?
Oh, okay. For the sake of being that guy being funny, when's my cut? Nah, you ain't getting shit.
I know good damn well, bro. I better get $1. The fuck? You get $10 million. I can't get $1. The fuck?
You ain't not be able to get $1 with my money the way it is now.
Well, that's the point I'm making.
Nah,
literally the point I'm making.
You know how it is.
What is the very, very, very first thing you would think you would spend your money on? Like the very first thing, like a pack of gum, no means.
I don't know. Fucking. If I can't get a friend to take me a cash in the ticket or whatever, then it's the Uber ride home.
I'm just being silly for the sake of conversation, being this specific.
I know, something probably related to either my mom or my sisters. More than likely my mom. And then, sisters after that. And then, what about you, sir? Putting me on the hot seat. It's muy caliente. All right. What about you, sir? Let's turn up the heat where you are. What is your first purchase with the stuff?
Well, the very first thing I would do if I win the lottery. I mean, and again, for the sake of this conversation and silliness and specificity, the very first thing if I win the lottery is I'd probably look at that ticket 1,000,000 times, because I'd be like, there's no fucking way this is right. And like, there's no way that this is a winning ticket. But then I'd be afraid to ask anybody else, unless maybe it was my brother or something like that I knew I could trust, like, to the nth degree. Because you ask anybody else if you like, hey, and then either they're going to try to get it from you, or if they don't, then they're going to know that you got money, so they're going to be begging your ass, one of those two. So I would check that ticket 1,000,000 times and be like, is this right? Is this right? I'm tripping. Wait, no, yeah. And then I would go, and when I cashed the thing and all that shit, and then I still would be in disbelief till I probably got an official piece of paper signed, and even more so when I got the first bit of money. I think this shit is not paid for all at once. It's paid for in so many installments every month or year or some shit. So until I get the first
you either take the installments year after year over 20 years, or you take the cash option, which is less money than you would have gotten, but you get it then. Mm-hmm. But it's less money than the overall get it distributed to you over a bunch of years. But when you're 300 million and you're like, oh, I get 100 million minus taxes. Oh no, that's not life changing anyway or anything.
Bruh, first of all, I would take the financed option, because if you get it's pretty much statistically proven that the average working class person, when you come into a sudden lump sum of money, blows through that shit. So I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't want all that money at one time. So I would take the financed option. So that way I would keep getting my money to refill itself because of the off chance that I might blow that shit. I know I got more coming. But first thing I would do, like I said, after I recheck the ticket and I get it and everything, like I wouldn't believe it until I finally get the first, like, till I get the money. Like, first of all, till I get something signed saying, yeah, but till I get the money, I would not believe this shit.
Mm-hmm.
But then I would, I mean, I'm not working at anywhere ever again. Like any just typical job shit. Like, no, I'm not doing that. That's not gonna happen. No.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or if I do, I'm just not gonna be the best employee. I'm just gonna be there for something to do during the day.
yeah, like something. It's gonna be more to occupy your time and not for your livelihood.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And
I
if
feel
I
that.
get fired, so be it. But I'm at least trying to just like I'm not gonna try to get fired. Like I'm not gonna cuss out every customer that comes in or some shit. But I'm gonna be like, whatever. I'm not going no extra mile for y'all. Y'all want to fire me because you don't think I work hard enough. You right. I don't need this job.
I'm also well, I mean, I'd be kind of nervous to work at a job like that anyway, because people would either be begging you for money, mad at you because you got more money than them, or they try to fucking your
Why do
ass
they
and
need
take
to
it.
know I'm a millionaire?
True, unless you one of the motherfuckers that they put on the news talk about local man.
I
So
mean, hopefully
that's a
they
good
don't, but I think they generally like people also kind of invite it. If that makes sense, because there's
oh,
some people that ask
some people, yeah.
for complete anonymity.
I would want that shit, anonymity. If I
Yeah.
win, I do not want the world knowing I fucking won this money. Hell no. My face is too many places, from acting around like, the town, as well as having social media,
Now, I'm
as
not
well
gonna
as,
lie. If I can use my money to pay my way onto somebody's screen once I'm a millionaire,
well, you didn't let me finish what I was saying, because we just started, like
mm-hmm.
the typical flow of conversation goes in the podcast
Gotcha,
itself. You
gotcha.
get some
You
namesake.
you are
But no,
correct, sir.
well, no, well, I didn't mean like that. But no, I was just gonna say, it's funny that you mentioned that. But one of the things that I would do is I would set myself up to then make like my own acting company, whether it be film or theater. And then on top of that, I would probably end up making some type of studio to where I can do um, some type of acting, whether film or theater, as well as music out of that. I would set my shit up to be like, okay, this is my fucking theater company and this and that. So I would definitely do that. And of course, like you said, you got to take care of friends, you got to take care of family and all that shit. Because if you end up coming in at $10 million, it ain't gonna hurt nothing to give a lot of people you care about 100K.
Oh, that's what you meant by if you come into $10 million. That's why you said Jack. Okay, that makes
There you
sense.
go. Yeah, I mean, with a U, not an O and me. Um, but no, and then I would buy hookers and blood up. There was like, what was that shit? It was some news thing, and it was one of those things where you put the mic up to somebody and say some wild shit, so you take it away instantly, and it's like, no. But they asked this dude on the news one time, so like about the lottery, what are you gonna do if you win the lottery? And this dude said, hookers and blow, and they like pulled the mic away, like, what the fuck? He just said that. Bruh, no, hookers and blow, like, no, what the fuck? That's like that old clip when they interviewed Shaq on ESPN and he's upset about something. And he was like, what do you think about this so and so, Shaq? And he's like, we gotta do the fucking blah blah. Shaq were live. So don't give a shit. Shit was hilarious. You in this bourbon in these spaces you were making, my friend.
It's wrong.
What time of day is it where you at, bro?
About an hour later than the time of day it's at where you are.
So me being a friend of yours,
Yeah.
and then also for the sake of the joke, I contemplated if I actually wanted to give away what time of day it is, or if I want to keep this going.
This is not an everyday occurrence.
I know.
The only reason I'm drinking the bourbon right now is because I was like, I want something to drink. Oh crap! I don't have any water that's cold right now, and I don't have any
you,
soda. I guess I'll drink some
you,
bourbon.
you being my best friend, if this wasn't everyday occurrence, I would have been said something.
I
I'd have been
didn't do
like,
it last week. Hmm.
Anyway,
Don't give me that.
the more eagle-eyed viewers and listeners know why I paused to make that face. Anyway, but no, you be my best friend. If you was like, it's typical occurrence. I wake up at 9 in the morning, and the first thing I do is pour 2 shots of bourbon
Fucking
every
Kendrick
day.
on some Kendrick Lamar shit. Wake up, drink, walk up, drink, so and so, drink.
I would have been like, brother, we would have to talk. But you know that song, "Swimming Pools," is actually
it's anti-drinking.
Yeah, it's more deep than you think, and but you don't realize that at first because of the chorus and because of like the beat and everything. It's disguised as a club banger that is promoting getting drunk and having fun, but it's really talking about the dangers of alcoholism.
Yeah. No, what is it? There was a tournament earlier this year or late last year. It was sometime during the lockdown where I had no work to worry about or anything like that. And there was a top 8 for a big Street Fighter like related event. And it was 2 days. I want to say it was at the end of last year. So late 20, it was probably Capcom Cup or whatever. But they did it over 2 days, and since they were doing it online, that's part of why it had to be 2 days. But it was a bunch of like first to 10 sets. And I missed a lot of the first day, but apparently the second day I was watching it with this streamer called K-Brad, and who's also a good player or whatever. And they had this announcer who, for whatever reason, whenever they cut to the announcer desk, almost after anything remotely hype happened, the dude was standing up after the match like, oh my god, that was great. And so they decided for day 2, apparently they decided during day 1, I didn't see it on K-Brad stream day 1 like I said. Day 2 they're like, no, we're keeping the drinking game going, where if he stands up you take a drink. If any of the other announcers stand up, you take an extra drink with them. So, and this man, I was unaware at what it took, or how little it took to get this man out of his seat for each match. Now, mind you, I'm a viewer at home. I could literally just type in chat, oh, I'm so drunk right now, and spell it incorrectly, and that's all I have to do.
But you were playing along.
But no, I played along. I had a bottle of vodka that someone was like, I'm not going to drink this much vodka. I don't like vodka. I'm like, I'll take your alcohol off of you. I'll find a way to like it. But I hadn't really gone through it a lot, but I had a big bottle. And it was like, it was bigger than this bottle.
God damn.
It was like fatter.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
So I had, a thing. And I had some drinks of vodka with that thing. And yeah, I stopped and fell asleep and like laid down trying to fall asleep. So not just straight up pass out, just kind of like, I'm gonna lay down. I'm gonna lay down and do this because I was literally right next to my bed. So it's not like I had to go home or anything. And so same thing with the streamer. He's like, y'all don't understand. My bed is right here. I'm not going anywhere after this. I can get as drunk as I want. And I was like, you know what? That's a good point. And I hadn't been drunk in a while. I laid down after 20 shots.
20 shots?
Yeah. Apparently it got up to like 29, 30-ish. Just
20 shots?
Look, man. The dude stood up a lot. Like, I don't think you understood how little it took to make this man get up out of his seat. But there, at one point, to bring it all back to what we're talking about, because now I just sound like an alcoholic. But at one point, I did just turn on the fucking Kendrick Lamar song and just
You think
start
you did?
listening to it. Yeah, just drink. Why you always living? Only do it 3 shots. I'ma tell you how to turn it up a notch. You can get a swimming pool full of liquor and you dive in it. And I was just like, damn. What's crazy is I mentioned in chat, like, I just turned on fucking Kendrick Lamar's swimming pools or whatever. And sure enough, when the guy had someone do a highlight stream for that particular stream because of all the like drinking and stuff. For some of the things, they literally like had a clip, wake up, drink, so drink. But yeah.
No, I know you're not an alcoholic, and anybody who happens to be watching / listening, yes, Omari is not a fucking alcoholic. The man just is a fucking grown man and likes to indulge at times. That's all. But it is kind of funny though. It's funny shots. God damn. Your liver was sitting there like, please no.
Nah, dog, I drink a lot of water.
Please God, no. Please, sir.
Drink a lot of water.
I just no more liquor, please.
I will say I will not have any more alcohol after this cup today, because yeah, this stuff was stronger than I did. And the reason I'm making the faces that I did is because I decided to try something where I like, let's see how this tastes if I put some Mio in it. Remember Mio? These things?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not doing that ever again. But that's why I'm making the faces.
You put like, what is that? Like energy, like Gatorade type flavor enhancers, and you put that in bourbon?
Well, it's not always energy. Sometimes it's just a flavor enhancer.
But that just sounds.
This is orange, tangerine.
Flavor. So you put an orange tangerine flavor enhancer into what kind of bourbon?
Bourbon. Let's just say really strong bourbon.
I mean,
I'm not going to disgrace. No, apparently bourbon heads get real mad if you mix bourbon with anything. Like, and to be fair, I often don't mix bourbon with anything. I was just like, you know what? If I don't like it, I just won't ever do it again. So why not? It was Knob Creek. I think it's their 90 proof.
Knob Creek. Okay.
I think it's their 90 proof bottle. So it's pretty high. That's about 45. That's like 45% alcohol by volume. It's not like the 120 proof.
You don't fuck around when it comes to your fucking alcohol. You like, I'm getting that good shit every time, huh? Yeah,
I mean, if I'm gonna be drinking it straight, which I often do when it comes to bourbon, I might as well get the good stuff.
Good shit, yeah.
And it's not, and because I'm not an alcoholic, I can afford to. Because it's like, those bottles are like $70, $80. How the hell you say you're doing the money? Well, I'm not drinking it all day, every day. If I buy a $70 bottle that lasts me like 2 to 3 months,
$100 spent over the course of about 3 months is only about $33.
I spent more than that going to the fucking arcade in college.
$33 a month is not shit. You divide that by 4, that really ain't shit. So,
mm-hmm.
like,
a WoW subscription costs less than that. Which someone pointed out to me in college because I was making fun of them for spending $15 a month on WoW. You spending $15 a month on that shit? I'm like, don't you go to the fucking arcade? Yeah. You realize $15 a month is like 50 cents a day, right? And I'm like, okay. And he's like, yeah, and you pay 50 cents per time that you play on that arcade machine for like, if you're lucky, let's say you play arcade, if you just play by yourself and you play arcade mode, and you make it all the way to the end, you got about 15-20 minutes of experience. If you play against other players, you can either have 2 minutes of experience because you got bodied instantly, or you go on like a win streak and you can stretch your money out. With fucking MMOs and stuff that make you pay $15 a month, you pay that 50 cents a day to play however the much fuck you want.
The thing, see, yeah, and the thing about shit like that, right, is like, one, arcades are pretty much a thing of the past anyway. Except like they got, I don't know if they have more you at, but in some cities they have shit called up down, which is basically a grown person arcade because they serve drinks,
We have
pizza,
not
adult
Ready
themed
Player
shit.
One. That's a fucking
That is a
movie.
movie by Steven Spielberg, I believe
I
Steven Spielberg.
think it's just called Player One.
Okay.
It was a barcade. We have a few barcades down
Arcade,
here.
that's what
We
it's
have a
called.
few barcades down here in Orlando, but not anywhere near what they could be. The only few real arcades left. I think there's one in Atlanta. I know there's one in Chicago. There's Galloping Ghost Arcade in Chicago. And then there's a couple spread across the country, but a lot of real arcades thing of the past. Now you get barcades
And the
or
throwbacks.
nothing. Yeah.
All of them are throwbacks. Like they have like the one I'm talking about. They got like the first Mortal
Oh no,
Kombat.
I'm an asshole. There's Arcade Monsters. There's Arcade Monsters. It's nearby ish to where I am, or at least nearby UCF. It's down the street from UCF. They're really good, but as opposed to the traditional, you pay. I think it's because they adjusted with the times that they're able to get away with what they did. Instead of you pay 50 cents each time you play a machine, you pay like an entry fee for X number of hours or whatever. Or no, you pay an entry fee and then you play the games.
Oh, so you don't have to keep putting in quarters and shit.
Right, the games themselves are free, but but you pay a fee to use the arcade for the day.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, and then I think they also have food and stuff. Actually, they definitely have food and stuff. When I first left my previous job, I applied to be working there, but the pay didn't even out because
But they're banking on you. They're banking on you buying concessions. Places always banking on you buying concessions. That's the whole thing about it. But no, I would say with arcades and shit. The funny thing is, like, so in my time, I've obviously growing up as a millennial, you've seen like the tail end of arcades and then seeing the shit like finish out and everything like that. So I've spent a decent amount of time in my fair share of arcades. And the funny thing about it is when you go to arcades and you play games and shit, and if it's like an adventure type game or even a fighting game, whatever, just whatever game for that matter, you do it. And you know, you keep losing, so you got to keep starting over. So you got to keep putting another quarter, token, whatever the fuck in.
yeah.
When you finally beat said game, there's like a feeling of triumph, but at the same time, there's a feeling of kind of like not remorse, but almost like you feel good, but there's also like a that's it. Because it's like you spent all this money and then the game is just like, you did it. And then it starts over for the next player. And it's like, what the fuck? Like I remember back in the day, everybody remembers the Simpsons game.
Okay.
Where you could play, you know, Homer, Marge, Bart, Lisa, because it was like Mr. Burns and Smithers stole Maggie or some shit. And you had to get them back. And it was a 4-person game, and you could pick one of those 4, or you could have all 4 like people being used at one time. And I remember back in the day, me and Ibn, you say I say this every episode, but I got to just in case. Ibn is my older brother, for those of y'all who do not know. But me and Ibn, maybe somebody else, maybe not, I don't know. We ended up like putting the quarters in and beating this game and shit. And it was cool beating it. And I mean, I do feel good being able to say like, hey, I beat this game and shit. But it is like, once you finish it, it's like, well, okay.
I went on a cruise where that game was on in the arcade on the cruise.
Mm-hmm.
And
shit.
It was Marge's slot was eating quarters. For people who aren't familiar with the term of eating quarters, it's pretty much you put your money in the machine and it doesn't register that you put the money in the machine, but it also doesn't like spit it back out to you in the like change return thing. You just lost your money. So eventually, when they were trying to fix it, they decided, okay, we kind of fixed it. And then they kind of flipped a little lever that tells the machine a quarter has been put in there. They flipped it like a metric shit ton of times, so you know it's a lot. because you have a shit ton, and then you have the metric shit ton, so that's even more so. So they flipped it like a metric shit ton of times,
Like I
and
know.
Marge had like way too many fucking lives. But I spent so much time with this other dude I met on the cruise. He's either a family member. I want to say it was Lance, like cousin Lance. Shout out to you, who even though you don't watch it, whatever. It's family, whatever. Fucking. But I might even have his name wrong. It might not be Lance, so who knows? But it's a cousin of mine. I'm pretty sure that I met because it was a family reunion cruise to the Bahamas. The only
Like
time,
dude named Lance. That doesn't happen all the time.
yeah, it was the only time I've been out of the country. Yeah, the closest I've been to being out of the country is the Bahamas. If you count the Bahamas as out of the country, I've been to the Bahamas on a cruise.
I mean, it's like technically not a state but a territory by the U.S., but I would count.
Yeah. So on that cruise, I spent the majority of my time in that arcade, especially once they did that with Marge on the machine. So I played the shit out of some Marge, but we finally beat that game because we had the equivalent of infinite lives. So yeah, I played the hell out of that Simpsons game.
And then it's like, man, and well, like, because the reason why I say that too is because I remember back in the day, me and Ibn, the first one of the first arcade games I ever saw, games period I ever saw that had something that was like the equivalent of a mini game, which was that Die Hard game. Remember that game? Where it was like you and somebody else and y'all playing people, you could pick up weapons and hit people, like hit people with the weapon and shit like that. And they had the mini game, like you running by something, and it was like if you don't push left at the right time or push a button or something, somebody might tackle you, and now you got to fight out of this level into some other shit instead of just running by them.
Yeah.
And I remember because it was like, and it was somebody got kidnapped. Funny how this is a recurring thing. Motherfuckers get kidnapped.
I'm pretty sure Kitty gets kidnapped in the fucking X-Men game.
Somebody got kidnapped. But we ended up beating that game years ago. I feel like we beat that game at Dave and Buster's. I don't know. That is so inconsequential wherever it was. I could be wrong. But we ended up beating the game. And I remember we beat the game. At the end of the game, if I remember correctly, at the end of the game, the little girl that you finally end up saving, you and this other person, y'all play the game together, y'all beat it, y'all save this little girl. And she said something along the lines of, "Yay, thanks for saving me. Okay, now I want you all to fight each other," or some shit like this. Mm-hmm. So you beat the game, and now you gotta fucking fight your partner and kill him, and then that's it. Like, okay, what the fuck? Fuck you, little girl. What?
Yeah, all right. Who's the stronger between the two of you? Yeah, and yes, the X-Men game is initially you're just stopping Magneto from doing Magneto shit, but eventually he kidnaps Professor X and Kitty. So it becomes a rescue mission.
Motherfuckers just got kidnapped, bro. That was either like.
Well, what's crazy is like that '80s X-Men arcade game was supposed to like go and coincide with the failed TV series Pride of the X-Men. Pride spelled with a Y because Kitty. It was gonna be focused with Kitty as the main character, and it was gonna have fucking Wolverine, Storm, Colossus, Nightcrawler, and Dazzler.
Just like the game.
Hey, and I think Scott was there too because, of course, main character. Let's be honest. But yeah, and it didn't work out. There's only like one or two episodes, if two. There's one episode, I think. I think it even had Thunderbird though. Like they were gonna try to put Thunderbird in the show. I think I told you about
Thunderbird because of yours. About him.
I thought you say you don't even know about Thunderbird. I was gonna be like, well, there's a reason you don't know about Thunderbird. Motherfucker died after 2 chapters.
Only because you fucking talked about him is why I know.
I'm an Apache warrior. Stop punching the plane, you fucking moron. Let me scream at him, Letty. No, I'm an Apache warrior. He dies. Villain doesn't. Sucks to suck.
I was gonna say, but no, that X-Men game back in the day, that was another classic game. But when you look back and looking back on that game, it was fun. the fucking like style of the game. That was one thing I say about a lot of them games back then. The style of those games, like the art style or whatever those games, the artwork and all that shit was done very fucking well. And that was a fun game. But looking back, it was pretty basic. It wasn't the best, and it was hard as fuck. That game was hard as shit.
Yes.
Because once you keep progressing and you get to you get to that one level where it's like the sentinels and then the little like going back and forth like robot arms that like shoot at your ass and shit. Those fucking levels was hard as shit, man.
I saw a speed runner play that game recently. And that was fun.
Shit. I would love
So the game didn't look as hard as it's remembered, but I agree with you. But it's just fun looking at like the quotes in that game, just like they don't. I am Magneto, master of magnet, or everyone's fucking, or one of my favorites first. One of my favorites. Nothing moves the blob, and he just comes out there and he just yells, "Nothing moves the blob" every time. But of course, there's the classic. X-Men, welcome to die.
Like, what's this shit? The old classic movie coasters fucked up. Like, someone set us up a bomb.
Yeah, Zero Wing. All your base are belong to us. You have no time to escape. Make your time. Or no, you're on your way to total destruction. Something. Make your time. Yeah. Have you seen Zero Wing Rhapsody?
No.
It's a thing on newgrounds.com. Where, if you remember that website, it's a website that used to be popular back in the 90s. A lot of people who did a lot of stuff on Newgrounds went on to do successful stuff in their own right otherwise.
It was pretty fucking like gory, like inappropriate fucking sophomore humor.
Not everything, but yes, a lot of it was.
Majority of shit. Like,
it was. Zero Wing Rhapsody was pretty tame. It was that dialogue, but to the song Bohemian Rhapsody.
Well, what I was gonna say was it was a lot of shit that when I first discovered it around like middle school age, I had no business looking at. on that.
Oh no! Again, I'm not denying your statement. I'm saying there were some good things in there amongst all, but there was also a lot of trash.
Yeah.
But a lot of people came out of that and stuff like the Castle. You ever heard of the game Castle Crashers? No, it was a popular game in the early 2000s, in the first decade of 2000s. It's a hit, believe it or not. It's a very popular game, and that's primarily done by like it has a bunch of Newgrounds shout-outs in it because it's done by people who came up through Newgrounds. Rick and Morty, I'm pretty sure the guy behind Rick and Morty, not Dan Harmon, but the dude that's the voice of Rick and Morty, I'm pretty sure he did a bunch of Newgrounds shit back in the day. If you've ever heard of Game Grumps, Ego Raptor got who's one of the Game Grumps, the main one, if you will. He got his start on Newgrounds, other shit like that.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Like, Newgrounds actually did help shape a lot more stuff into the future. Something also should get a lot of respect in there too, but I don't know enough about it because I didn't follow that website.
Well, a lot of like the stuff back in the day, honestly, if you look at YouTube, I mean, shit, we got this on YouTube. If you look at YouTube, YouTube changed the landscape of just kind of like, whether we really want to fully admit it, realize it, whatever, YouTube changed the landscape of just a lot of shit just in the world moving forward. Because beforehand, you had Daily Motion, you had Blip.tv, you had Break.com, you had Newgrounds, shit like that, and then YouTube.
E-Bomb's World, who stole from all of them and put his own watermark on it.
I forgot about E-Bomb's World, but you had all this shit, and then YouTube came in and was like, you know what? We see all of this, so we're gonna take all of y'all and then just make a platform for it's not one specific type of thing. We just put all the videos on us.
AlbinoBlackSheep.com.
I heard about that, and I feel like Ibn went on that a lot, but I never really went on that website.
I didn't go on it a lot. By the time I found out about it, it was kind of late in its lifespan. But I saw this thing called the Demented Cartoon Movie on there, and it was pretty funny. Like the funny thing is, I discovered albinoblacksheep.com at the same time that my mom did. And we both saw some funny video that someone had recommended to her, and we both thought it was funny. And then we saw a second video that neither of us were really into. It has something to do with Papa Smurf, because we decided, hey, if we're here, might as well click on something else and see if it's funny.
Papa Smurf, can I lick your ass?
Yeah, lick my.
Wow, wow. Off and on over the years, I've thought about that video, and that's silly shit. But yeah,
and Mom and I both were like, "What the hell? Should you find this funny?" I'm like, "Nah." I mean, the language is funny, but I don't know why this needed to be a video. You know what I mean?
Your ass, yeah, lick my ass.
And then I watched the Demented Cartoon Movie, which I think is my favorite thing that Albino Black Sheep ever showed me.
I feel like, I was gonna say real quick, I feel like the Papa Smurf thing, I don't know for certain, but I think that is supposed to be like a reference, parody, whatever you want to call it, in reference to Two Live Crew, and I think it might be Uncle Luke.
Oh, more than likely. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's the case, because,
if the shit really goes, Uncle Luke, can I lick your ass? I'm like, that's some wild shit. But Two Live Crew was doing some wild shit. So
Uncle, are you really going to be that surprised if Uncle Luke came out saying that he had songs that said something like that?
Not entirely. Because what he said, they had one song where they were like, Abraham Lincoln was a wise old man. He jumped through the window with his dick in his hand and some wild shit like that. Some crazy ass shit like that. Like, what the fuck?
Ah, motherfucker. Emancipation, bitch.
He had another proclamation. This one didn't take months to reach the South. No. Let me stop.
Blame you.
Didn't take months to reach the South. I almost feel wrong making that joke.
In my honest opinion, I proclaim thee emancipated.
I cannot tell a lie.
Oh my god. Or I cannot tell a lie was George Washington chopping down the cherry tree.
Yeah.
He was just honest Abe Lincoln.
Which, I mean, to be fair.
Yes, it's still I cannot tell a lie, but that specific quote is the made-up story about Washington with the cherry tree.
No, I was going to say, to be fair. I'm not saying you're wrong. I wasn't even going to make it. I'm just going to say, to be fair. So Washington chopped down a cherry tree. When he was asked if you chopped down a cherry tree by his father, the story goes, he said, I cannot tell a lie. Yes, I did.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we give a fuck?
Because clearly he would have gotten in trouble. But, the man was incapable of lying. He knew he'd get his ass whooped, because this is back in the day. This is back in the day where people whoop their kids' ass for doing stupid shit like chopping down cherry trees. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to get my ass whooped, but I can't tell a lie. I chopped that tree down.
I mean, I was gonna say, I get why we care, because I get what it's supposed to symbolize. But if you really think, I don't give a fuck.
I really don't. And the fact that it is more than likely a made-up story anyway, who gives a damn?
But just my whole thing too, right? Okay, so young George, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, if he's chopping down cherry trees, but he's still old enough to get in tree. He's old enough to have the strength to chop the tree down, but he's also young enough to still, have to answer to his parents and possibly get in trouble, right? Okay, cool. So let's say that would put him somewhere between maybe 11, 12, 13, 14 years old, right? So young George at this time is probably somewhere between 11 to 14 chopping down a tree. Why in the motherfuck is this unsupervised preteen chopping down a fucking cherry tree?
Because it's the 1800s. Or no, not even the 1800s. It's the 1700s. What else is he gonna do with his time?
That's what I'm saying. He ain't got nothing to do. Like,
win the lottery so he could go and
jack up. That, ladies and gentlemen, is called a callback.
That's from earlier this episode. I'm pretty sure.
It's called a callback. Yeah. But no, what the fuck? Like, what? He can read a book. Or he could do what a lot of people were doing around that time anyway, because they didn't have nothing to do. Go fuck somebody and make a kid. People like, because people like, yeah, I have 17 brothers and sisters. It's like, well,
I've got my mother's side of the family is huge. I will never date a woman, regardless of race, with the last name Williamson. I don't want to risk her being related to me.
Dang.
My grandmother was the youngest of 16 kids.
See?
Well, she wasn't the youngest. She was around the middle of 16 kids. One, and just a calm example, because I'm not going to bring up the video footage of the table and everything, but to bring up an example, the oldest, my oldest uncle, at the time I was born, so over 30 years ago, his specific branch of the family tree was already at 100 something. And that's one of those 16. Now, with as like far as kids, grandkids, everybody that came off of his one branch out of the 16,
so that's not the
was 100 something, and that was 30 years ago.
Jesus Christ.
So to give a better example of that, all right, so without showing the footage or whatever, so went to the last family reunion I went to was about within the past 5 years in Tennessee. We were at a hotel, and on the night of the usually our family banquet, our family reunions end with like a big dinner where we like talk about stuff, maybe even have a talent show where we go, haha, look how talented people in our family are, blah, blah, blah. Outside of the banquet hall, there was a table that had the family tree on it. It had, patriarch that we start this with in 1862, and then the 16, and then who came off of them. And I'm like, this is a lot of people. And then I looked closer, and I saw that it wasn't fully filled in. All the space that had been taken up all came from that one branch. No one was able to write in any of their shit because his shit took up the rest of the table. And then when you reached the end of the table, you had to walk to the second table to see the rest of it. And then people had reeled in stuff that they had forgotten off of him.
So I'm saying that wasn't the other 15. That was just one.
Yes, they had all the other 15 listed, but they had nobody that came off of them. Because hell, my grandma had like a ton of people that came off of her. Like she had 6 kids, which isn't 16, but still.
That's a lot still.
Because the oldest uncle or the oldest of the 16, I think he's the oldest, he had 16 of his own. So to go with your whole thing there. And the reason I say it's not, why I say Williamson of either race is, patriarch was half and half because his mother was a slave, his father, slave master. There you go.
Good Lord, man. Yo, where Nelly at when you need him? Others just smoke and fuck all day. Jesus Christ. I mean, that's kind of the joke that motherfuckers make, but I mean, they, everybody, some people say every joke is saying a little bit of true shit.
That was a small part, but part of the reason I was a virgin as long as I was, because of the whole idea that, shit, if I slip up at all, I'm definitely gonna impregnate this chick.
That's disgusting. I thought you were going to say, I assumed that you were going to say before you said it. It's not disgusting that you slip up and impregnate somebody. I thought you were going to say, and I shouldn't have assumed, but I thought you were going to say, if I slip up at all, I'm fucking a family member.
Well, that's why I say no Williamsons.
That's what I thought you were about to say. Slipping up and actually impregnating somebody is now.
There are.
I misspoke.
There are 3 things I don't want to date. someone with the last name Williamson because I don't want to risk being related to them. Obviously, if they have a different last name and we end up related, the family's fucking huge. I can only do so much to make sure that I'm not dating someone I'm related to. I'm at least not dealing with the last name. Patriots fans. I'm not dating a Patriots fan. I refuse to root for that team. When you date somebody, you have to adopt all they shit. So, fuck that. And because I have to adopt a lifestyle because of dating said person, I'm not dating a vegan. I don't have any problem with them having their vegan lifestyle, but I'm not going to join in on that lifestyle. So enjoy yourself.
You just got.
We can be friends. We can be friends, but I'm not dating one because I don't want to be a vegan.
You got burned out on your interactions with vegans because of just working in food service and all the issues you had with them.
That's part of it, but also I like food.
Well, right, but I'm saying you got burnt out on your interactions with even trying to do shit with vegans because you're interactions.
No, I don't want to date a vegan because I don't want to become a vegan. It's that simple.
Well, see, but this is the thing, though. If you date a vegan, that
I don't want to hear that shit. You know damn well that you were forced to do whatever the fuck you want if you want to keep being with that individual.
Well, no, I'm saying if you date somebody and she is like, I'm a vegan, but my boyfriend ain't, and then you live perfectly ever after eating what the fuck y'all want to eat.
Doesn't happen. It'll start that way. No. It'll start that way. It'll start that way, sure. But if y'all turn anything long term out of that, he gonna have to convert. If he wants to keep doing that. If he wants to keep with her, he's gonna have to convert. I've seen it happen.
Oh, you've seen it happen?
Yes. I had this philosophy before that, and then I saw the proof, the proof is in the jello, as they say. There you go.
You seen it happen more than once, or just like seen it happen, period?
Seen it happen more than once, but
wow.
The more than once is not people that I know personally. The one is someone I know personally who started off, he just eats whatever, he can still eat whatever. They're still dating, and suddenly he's a vegan.
Well, hopefully you all
and again, that's not me saying I hate these people as a people. Just because I don't want to date you don't mean nothing. You know how many women don't want to date me? Tons. That don't mean they hate me as a person. I'm friends with a lot of women. So what if they don't want to date me? That's whatever. We're friends. We move on. There's more to life than dating and fucking. Especially if you're not in St. Louis, And even in St. Louis, even if you aren't one of the people that smokes and fucks all day, you either got a job or sell yay,
I don't want to stop you.
That's what I'm talking about. Some got jobs, some sell yays, others just smoke and fuck all day. Those are the three options he gives you for living in St. Louis, at least in the time he made the song.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You can find me in St. Louis.
I know what you're talking about, but you just didn't go on this. The vegan, and then the St. Louis, and then the woman, and then the fucking, like, what?
I'm saying that there's more to life than fucking.
Oh, God.
Just because you don't want to date somebody doesn't mean you hate everybody in that regard. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
You can still be friends with people and stuff. Just because you don't want to date somebody doesn't mean you hate their whole group.
I'm also kind of laughing too because I'll go close it. I'll start winding down.
Unless it's Patriots. I have plenty of friends that are, well, not plenty, but I have some friends that are Patriots fans.
I was starting winding this shit down about 3 to 4 minutes ago where you just went on this whole thing about not to say that I don't like vegans, because if you like vegans, but you ain't got to fuck. It's like, what the fuck?
Be friends with people and not fuck them.
I know. What the fuck? Okay. Hopefully you all will be friends with that.
No, it's just me going, I don't want to date somebody. And, people are quick to add ist an ism to any kind of thing that you don't like nowadays. And I'm not saying, I'm veganist or lifestylist. I'm not saying if you're a vegan person, I fucking hate you or some shit. I'm just saying I don't want to date one because I don't want to be one.
I know.
But I don't hate you as a person. I'm trying to cover our asses from the anti-publicity.
I'm going to try and close this out for the third time. Because every time I start, your ass is like, but this I didn't mean. It's like, so you know what? This time I'm not even going to segue. I'm being very transparent. I am closing out the show, everyone. Normally I try to have a fun little segue. Now you know what? So, whilst closing out said episode, if you would like to see or hear more from yours truly, please go ahead and follow me on my socials. You can go ahead and follow me, like my page on Facebook. That would be under Superjaz, which is SUPERJAZ. You can go ahead and follow me on my Twitter, Superjaz2. So that is Superjaz number 2. Or you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram, which would be Forever Superjaz. The word forever spelled correctly. And like I said, if you also want to hear more from me, I am a rapper. So you can go ahead and check out the not too long been out, My Secret Identity, the debut album from yours truly, Superjaz. That is My Secret Identity, every word spelled correctly. And you might have to put in Superjaz, My Secret Identity, because I'm not that famous yet. Find that anywhere you stream your music. Mr. Not a vegan, but not anti-vegan. Where can they find you?
Well, you know where you can find me. First of all, you can find me here every Wednesday at 11 o'clock Eastern Time on this channel with the Whatever We Want podcast. You can also find me, oh my God. You can also find me on YouTube at YouTube/feogrande, that is FEOGRANDE, or on Twitch at twitch.tv/Giotavi, that is GIOTAVI. And I have a Twitter of the same thing as the Twitch. It tweets out when I'm streaming every day in 2021, and this is the month of October, so I'm going through the God of War games, doing what I like to call Giotavi at War. Because I have a job again now, it's mainly evening time for the streams and stuff. I do stream other stuff like fighting games and stuff, like mornings and stuff, because I'm trying to stream every day, and there are certain days I have plans and stuff. Sometimes I have to stream early in the morning before work or whatever, and that's usually a fighting game stream during this month or whatever. But once I get everything back into motion of things and have a schedule and do stuff, it'll be the schedule that's done. But yeah, I'm gonna stop wasting everybody's time and everything. Go ahead and close this out, Jazz. You know, we can do what we like to do. And live in color.
What did you say? What are you doing?
Whatever I want.
Also, you're gonna close it out now?
Well, you didn't.
Well, because I didn't know what the fuck you were doing. Did you hit stop?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I had a whole thing I was gonna say.
Okay, say what you say.
Say what you say. You say what you say when you say it. Right?
Do what you want to do. Say what you want to say. Live like you want to live. Play like you want to play.
Anyway, no, well, I was gonna say, but it's not fun anymore because the fucking whole segue fourth wall's been broken. I was gonna be like, hey, so what are we gonna eat next time? Because the whole vegan thing, but yeah, anyway. Never mind. It's not fun no more because your ass is a fucking
whatever we want. That's what we're gonna eat. I'm gonna eat whatever I want because I'm still dating people that also eat whatever they want. How about that? That ties it in. Yeah. Adios.
The dumbest fucking outro we've done.
just say yes. Don't think, become immortalized. Some may plead, beast and G, you have to ignore the cries. Grip tight, don't let go, feel the energy surge. Fingertips to toes, can't even put it in words. Chaos and peace has lovely symmetry. With great power comes great responsibility. They say you can't take it with you. Hope you gathered all that shit you need. Shirt on your back and some shoes that fit you. All that remains of the past we leave.